So under here is where I, store lots of stuff. Water bottles primarily. Oh, and it turns out it's Nugget's favorite little hidey hole. But also, just a few minutes ago, I saw her run back there with something in her mouth, and I have no idea what it was at all. She's like, "What is that light, Mama?" Mama just figured out the light. Yeah, she ran under there with something, and I have no idea what. Oh, wow, well, I always keep it real. You know that. My hair always looks like a mess. Yeah. So, whatever it was semi-rectangular and maybe yellow. It could have just been a piece of paper. But I have no idea. I now realize that I think I need to, take a look under there and see what else she might be stashing. Maybe some things that I thought I lost are just right in there, in her little hidey hole. Yes, you, kitten. You have been stashing things under the bed. That's her little mousey. That's a container of nuts that Oh! Speaking of nuts, hello. Did you lose your toy under there again? She used to be able to fit under there once upon a time. Yeah. Those cute little kitten pictures, if you follow me on Facebook, Marion Stroh on Facebook. This is what the Queen Nagita looks like now. She's kind of a little bit bigger. That harness actually fits her very well. And she can wriggle out of it. So, we know it is not too tight. What? What is it? Does Mommy have the camera on you? Are you missing your crinkly toy? Auntie Michelle gave us a bag of crinkly toys the last time we were in Connecticut. And why am I using the creepy Christmas tree voice? Oh, hey, listen. Listen. What did Mommy say? No. Okay, let me get her toy. Sweetie, what did you do with the toy? Oh, I heard it that time. Oh, there it is. There's your favorite crinkly toy. Today is March 16th. So this tells you how far behind you are. How far behind me you are. You're not behind in life, I promise. You are where you are meant to be in this moment. Yes. Right, Bean? And now the end is near, and I will face that final curtain. Once the purring starts, she's getting ready for bed. Is that what's happening, Bean? Are you tired? I know I have a shadow. I love you. Yeah, so on that note, well, good morning, everyone. Look how beautiful. Another beautiful sunrise out here in the desert. Oh, look at the pink I think that's Snow Mountain over there. I'm sorry for all the glitchiness. Although the queen is cute, this image is for the creosote and the brush. So you can see what my inspiration was for this study that I did of creosote in the desert, where I was parked in the Desert Wildlife Refuge. I have been struggling through, and I do say struggling through because it really is not difficult to live in the uninspired time. It being a native New Englander, I tend to beat myself up for not working daily when I am just in a dry spell. I may not feel like picking up a pencil and even just doing this. But I do go out and shoot. So you see all of my photography on Instagram if you follow me on Instagram at theinappropriateartist. And if you also consider becoming a patron on Patreon, you will see as frequent an update as I can possibly upload. So I wouldn't call it daily. Sometimes it does happen daily. Sometimes it happens multiple times in one day. And then sometimes there's a few days in between. I do my best to keep it as consistent as possible. And you are more up to date on Patreon, often true to the time and place where I am. Patreon is how I am looking to fund this book project, which you see me working on in this video right here. I am doing what I consider to be like a kind of an illustrated journal of my journey. So it will be, there will be some that has to be hindsight, as I did finally come up with this concept recently. And so I have started to be able to work more diligently on it. As you can see, I'm keeping it as simple as I can, at least in some of these. Some of them do get a little bit more intricate, but this gives you an idea as to the looseness I want to achieve in the books. And yes, I say books. There are going to be multiple. I want to do short little releases. There'll be a series you can collect. And they will be either regional or time. I haven't figured that out yet. It might just be whatever fits in the book. And then move on to the next one. So I hope that you consider going over to my Patreon. That link is below in the description. And there you can be a part of the Patreon family and help to support this journey by giving a monthly contribution that works for you. So there are multiple tiers to choose from, and everybody sees the same content. I keep it simple that way, mostly for me, but also because, just because all you can contribute is $5 doesn't mean your support isn't as great as the person who can contribute $30. Because every dollar counts in this project and in my life while I create content for this project. Because that is what this is. It is happening in real time for me. So I am both working in hindsight on the beginning of my journey and where I am today, like in this little sketch of the desert.
I'm watching this back as I'm doing this voiceover, and so I feel like I'm getting to watch it with you. It's kind of neat for me, seeing my technique all sped up. I really do love all of the twisted botany in the desert. I just love twisted botany, period. You know, y'all know me. I just love twisted botany. And this, right now, with everything that's going on in the world and everything we have lived through as a collective in the last couple of years, joy is something we need to allow ourselves so that the rest of our lives can be fuller. If we don't allow ourselves to experience the joy of the moment, we lose sight of what is important to us, and we can't truly be there for others. So let yourself experience a little bit of joy. You see what I'm doing here? This is abbreviated so much because of how quickly I've sped up the film and how much I've trimmed out. But this entire process for me was about 45 minutes to an hour. And I really just did my best to enjoy each of the little marks that I was making and think about the brushes I was choosing to create those marks, and enjoying the texture of the desert and just allowing myself the freedom to play on the page. And I think that's what's going to make this book project really interesting for me as well as for you, the reader. And I haven't decided yet whether or not it's going to be type or handwritten. I do still think handwritten kind of rolls. I am dyslexic, so I'm doing it all in pencil. So if I have to correct things, I will. If I think they're absolutely hysterical, I'm going to leave them. So we'll see what happens with that as that goes. But I think this is going to be the best way for me to move forward as I chronicle my journey. And then, of course, the first few books are going to be hindsight because I have to look back at all of my images and remember. But there will come a point in time where it becomes real time for me again. And that is really, I think, New Mexico is when I started really focusing more on doing this. So I've done it in little bursts, and I'm hoping to make a daily or at least a weekly practice of entering in the book where I am and what's happening that day. And just, yeah, that kind of thing. So I'm going to see how this goes, and I'm so glad that you took the time to enjoy this video this far and this whole process with me. So if you'd like to become a member on Patreon, please check out in the description below. If you'd like to just contribute, all the links are below that. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Like, subscribe, take care. Bye-bye.